Detail lines in Revit are two-dimensional line work or symbology, such as a line, an arc, a circle, or an ellipse. And we can draw these in any two-dimensional or flat view. Examples of those would be floor plane views, ceiling plane views, or drafting views. Where we cannot draw them are in all those different 3D views, such as a camera view, or by just clicking on the little house up at the top of the screen and going into a 3D view. Detail lines can be drawn inside of two-dimensional views. That being said, I'm going to make sure that I'm inside of a drafting view now, find my drafting views here at the side, and then double-click on detail lines just to make sure that that's the view that's activated. From here, I have a nice big blank drawing area. This is a drafting view. Go in here to my Annotate tab, and then here's the command for detail lines. By selecting on detail line, we'll see over toward the right-hand side, there's a variety of different shapes that we can execute, such as line, rectangle, polygon, circle, arc, and ellipse. In this case, we'll start off by picking on the line tool, and then moving the cursor down and just picking somewhere here in the drawing area. Move over to the right, and then left-click somewhere over in this direction. The exact length for any of these lines I'm getting ready to draw doesn't really matter, so I'm just going to click here. We'll see that we now have a line on the screen. In fact, if I start to draw down like this and then click again, we'll start to draw in one line immediately after another line. And to get out of this, I can just hit Escape on the keyboard twice, and now I'm out of the command. If I go through the same process, Annotate, Detail Line, select on the Line tool, and in this case, there's a box here that says Chain, the little check mark next to it. I'm going to clear the box that has Chain. I'm going to click once, and then click again, and we'll notice that it's not automatically drawing another line. We're still in the line command, but what this does is it allows us to click and click, then click and click. So it's draw a line, draw a line, draw a line, instead of drawing one line after another line. Usually though, I like to have chain check marks, so I'll go ahead and check this again. And by doing that, you can see if I start to draw again, it draws one line immediately after another line. To escape a couple times to get out of the command, I'm just going to select on detail line one more time, and I'm going to pick rectangle now. If you click once and click again, you can draw a rectangle. Polygon works the same way. One thing to know though, if you're using a polygon, on the options bar going across the top, there's an option here that says sides. This controls how many sides there are going to be on the polygon. So if I change this from being a 6 to an 8, and then click inside of the drawing area, as I move this from side to side, we can now see that it's creating a polygon or an octagon. And if we click, it'll place it. Circle works the same way. Click, come out, and then click again. There's a couple different arcs that you can do. In this case, going to click a couple of times and place an arc. And then there's also ellipse. And that's a matter of clicking 3 times, one for the center, one for one of the outside edges, and yet again for another one of the other edges in order to create that ellipse shape. Now, if we want to be very specific in our links, which we probably do, what we can do is come up here, select on the line tool, click once, and then move in the direction we'd like to draw the line. When we do this, we'll see a dimension show up. Whenever this temporary dimension shows up, we can type in a number such as 7. Revit automatically assumes feet, so this is going to be a 7-foot long line. So there's a line that's 7 feet long. If I move down here and type in 1 foot 6, we'll have a line that's 1 foot 6 inches long. And now I'm going to hit Escape a couple times on the keyboard to get out of the command. Now, the final thing that I wanted to show related to the detail lines is by executing on that, we can then move over here to Line Styles, and then there's an option here that says Thin Lines, Medium Lines, or Wide Lines. If we choose one of the different line thicknesses, and now I'm going to zoom in a little bit to see if we can begin to see the difference in thickness. Notice how this line is thicker than this line. Now I'll do the same thing, except I'll choose a wide line off of the list. And I just hit Escape once to partially get out of the command, and then change this to be hidden. And now click, click again. Now if I zoom in, we can see it's now a hidden line. To draw in different kinds of line work, circles, rectangles, all those different shapes, you need to come underneath the Annotate tab, be inside of a flat or two-dimensional type of view, select on Detail Line, pick which shape that you want, then here where it has Line Style, pick the line style with the appropriate line weight as well as line type, and then start drawing in your different lines.